over 400,000 families remain without clean running water across KwaZulu-Natal, the area of uMsinga. Residents there saying they've been sharing water with animals for years. They've threatened not to participate in the upcoming local government elections if the government fails to ensure that they have clean water. Now, to address the country's water crisis, we're joined by the Department of Water and Sanitation spokesperson Sputnik Ratau. Mr. Ratau, thank you very much for your time. Your response to the community of uMsinga, and they are very clear that they've not had clean running water for years and they're having to make do with sharing streams with animals.
Good morning, Xoli, and thank you for the opportunity. Yes, the matter has been raised with us, and when we looked at it, it is a matter that is also in the hands of the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Department, based on the fact that the municipality has been in the process of, together with the Department of COGTA, making available some boreholes in the area in order to be able to facilitate reticulation for the people of uMsinga. But what has happened is that the area, the water quality that has been found in those boreholes has been of poor quality, and some of the boreholes have not really yielded the kind of amounts that would have been able to assist. And that is a general difficulty when you look at especially rural municipalities and rural areas with sparse populations over areas of very difficult terrain. That really lends itself to quite a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done in order for the communities to be able to access reasonable supplies of water.
Allow me to come in here, Mr. Ratau. Are you saying that because of the difficult terrain that you say is problematic here, that is the reason why people have had to wait for many years in order for them to get piped water that is clean and drinkable?
That is but one of the reasons. You must understand as well, Xoli, that in order for us to be able to facilitate the kind of services that are required, and which are obviously a constitutional mandate of not just the Department of Water and Sanitation, but local government as well. We need to be able to actually be in a position where such reticulation pipelines can be put in place. The difficulty is as well is that you might find some of the municipalities may not have sufficient revenue to be able to actually bring those services to people, and that is why in order for them to be able to do that, we need to say, together with our colleagues obviously in cooperative governance, as well as through the Municipal Infrastructure Support Agency of the Department of COGTA, be able to see how we can be able to make some other arrangements that might be able to be helpful in the meantime, while the kind of ultimate services are being looked at in the long term.
Mr. Ratau, you will excuse the cynicism that is going to come with the next question, but some people may be watching and listening to you saying it's simply unbelievable what he is saying, because in the Giyani water project, communities there been waiting for years, 3 billion rand down the line, simply for your department to connect pipes in order for the villages nearby to get clean running water. And that is not because of the difficult terrain, it's because of corruption.
Well, that is another factor that comes in. And if you look at the issue of Giyani, that is now in the hands of the SIU simply because of the fact that you are raising. And it is important to raise such a fact. But it is also important to say that that does not necessarily give rationale for such disservice to happen. And the cynicism does not have to be excused. It's got to come in because it is part of what we have to live with. It's part of what we have to address. And that is why part of what Minister Mfuno has been doing in the last 2-3 weeks is to look at especially these provinces that have got the worst difficulties in terms of water access, and to say how do we fast track those issues. Minister was actually taken through the work of the SIU, not this past Friday, but the other Friday, so that he can be able to be appraised and be brought up to speed as to exactly where the work of the SIU is. And remember that that is part of the consequence management that has got to that had to come into play, because we also had difficulties in terms of accountability, and that is why the Auditor General for a couple of years was unhappy with the performance of the department in itself.
Yeah, talking about fast-tracking issues, the current minister of Water and Sanitation, Senzo Mchunu, has been to Limpopo to that Giyani water project. What is the status therefore? Simply put, I think people listening from that community right now, they probably want to know when it is that they're going to get clean running water. What's the deadline?
I cannot give you a deadline right now. I know what Minister also instructed our provincial office in Limpopo together with Lepelle Northern Water. Remember that Lepelle Northern Water has also got a board that came into life in just the last year, or rather the last couple of months of the previous financial year, that they need to, notwithstanding the fact that there are issues that have arisen that are in the hands of the SIU and everybody else, but the work that must be on the ground needs to be brought to a completion. And that is what I guess my colleagues would be giving the minister a definite plan in the next couple of days that will outline exactly what kind of timelines they have put forth in order to be able to bring, as an ongoing process, how the issue of the remaining pipeline will be able to be attended to.
Mr. Ratau, the people of Giyani right now, I don't imagine that they are going to exercise any more patience than they have. So you're saying that there is no definitive timeline as to when that project could possibly be completed? I should have put it this way, that I don't have the final outcome of the meeting last week, especially between the Limpopo Provincial Office of the DWS as well as Lepelle Northern Water. That meeting happened around Wednesday, Thursday last week. And obviously it is information that is still fresh. It's information that must still be processed through the ministry so that we can be able to have it and be able to communicate it as such. I can be able to put my head on the block, Oli, in the sense that once we have that information, we can be able to bring it to your attention so that we can be able to communicate it accordingly. Remember that in that very visit last week, Minister also met with some of those stakeholders, including the communities that are affected, as well as those that were actually in the news report that indicated exactly what kind of conditions they are living under. So that is something that Minister is really looking at very seriously. And like I'm saying to you, once that report has been finalized, we can make it available to you in terms of what kind of timelines it indicates. All right. Earlier you spoke about consequence management when it comes to issues of corruption and wastage of money for a critical department like this one. So you give us hope then, as citizens of the country, that you are serious about consequence management. There is a former official of this department, and when we say former, we don't mean many years ago. This is recent because of the cabinet reshuffle. There's an official by the name uMsinga who was a senior aide to the recent Minister of Water and Sanitation, Minister Lindiwe Sisulu. He reportedly has racked up an amount of 1.7 million rand in travel and accommodation. This is money that he has claimed from the department since May of 2019. What are you going to do about this?
Well, I must put it to you, Mr. Mugambi, that Mr. Mdagazi was not even an official of the department, but an aide to the minister. And therefore, that matter lies with the ministry as to how those monies came to that kind of issue. It's a matter that some of us were made aware of when the report came out in the publication, and therefore at the moment I wouldn't have the best information as to exactly what is going to follow. But obviously, because it's a matter of public interest, the department as well as ministry will have to see exactly where things went wrong, if any. And if there is nothing that went wrong, obviously that information will also be made public, because it is about public funding. So it's a matter that the ministry will take care of. And obviously at the end of it all, it will be advanced, because as it stands, it's a matter that was raised by a member of parliament. And therefore, it's something that cannot be stuck under a table.
So when can we come back to you for an update on this?
Colly, I would have to find out exactly where that is. I'll let your producers, and we can be able to take that forward.
That's Mr. Sputnik Ratau, speaks for the Department of Water and Sanitation. Thank you very much for your time.